Hello, dear viewers. Thank you so much for joining me today. Well, today I'd like to read on, I read on this before, but I checked in because the headlines are that Trump had a White House meeting with Sidney Powell and Giuliani and Meadows, and maybe there was another person, about martial law, declaring martial law to rerun, Flynn, declaring martial law to rerun elections in the swing states only. What the heck? So, apparently there was shouting in this meeting, and it was a little crazy. Now, when I heard the headline, I had to check in again with Spirit and say, okay, is it the same? Am I still getting that nothing big will come out of this? Well, let's pull some cards. Okay, we have the Three of Cups. Okay, this was a little bit like people of like mind gather around talking big. Okay. And feeding into Trump's maniacal, power-hungry delusions. And the King of Rods is the challenge. See, that's the challenge. See, thank God the Democrats have enough power that they remain the force that keeps this White House in check. Oh, gosh, I remember way back when we were going to get the House in 2018 and hearing very clearly from Spirit, it is enough. It is enough. It is enough. Sure, it didn't get the Senate, but it is enough. And I remember feeling like that meant it is enough to save democracy. Well, at first, maybe I didn't hear that too clearly because that would be a big thing to digest. But I remember feeling like it's enough. You're safe. It's enough. And this has been the only thing that has held them in check. The only thing. And now that Biden is elected, there you go. Now we have an extra layer of protection between our democracy and those who would give it up, overturn it, see it gone. So we're fine. We're okay. Biden is coming in. They can't do it. They cannot do it. Underneath it all, we have the Knight of Cups. Manipulation. They're going to keep trying manipulation. In the meeting, it was all about, well, how can we manipulate perception? And that is still the continued tack. In other words, this is what I've heard too, that most of what Trump threatens and wants to make us all believe he can do, he cannot do. He plays a psychological game. In the past, we have the Nine of Wands, embattled, battle weary. I feel like that's him too. That's Trump too. You know, he's just taken this all, very, very personally, very much to heart. It has, it feels traumatic to him. Interesting. Losing the election felt traumatic to him. Huh. Yeah, he has no ability to kind of keep it in perspective or to separate that from him, who he is as a person. He is his ego. So this was actually quite devastating. Well, there's chance for change if things are devastating to this ego, this false self. Above it all, we have the Five of, I don't think there's a lot of chance, but anyway, Five of Coins above it all. We're going to be thrown out. We're going to be shut out. He is realizing daily that he's shut out of a lot of things he thought he could still have some power and control over. He is realizing daily how little he can defend himself after he leaves that White House, how little he can defend himself from legal issues, how little he can defend himself from civil litigation, how little he can, how little he has power over once he's out. And it is driving him crazy. He's been asking these questions. Okay, immediate future, we have completion. Yeah, no, that'll be it. That'll be it. His administration will be complete. He cannot do it. No. All right. What about Homeland Security seizing voting machines? Already he's been told no, he has no authority to do that. Yeah. See, the thing is, here's the deal. The power lies in the hands of those governmental officials who are career politicians who are working steadily, doing the same thing day in and day out, election year in and election year out. The power does not lie in Trump's hands to change that. So that's a good thing. The less centralized, isn't that a lesson? Really, but our forefathers would talk about dangers of centralizing government too much. This is a great lesson in that. Whoa, something just flew on out. Well, yes, of course, we keep our lessons. Okay, well, maybe this is a reassurance. Sure, the lessons have been difficult, and sure, we're slowly moving into calmer waters. But it could be the reassurance, too, that all of the things that we have learned from the close calls we've felt throughout this administration will help to implement post-Trump reforms. Good. Okay. All right. Now I wanted to look at the vaccine rollout as well, because the vaccine rollout is slower than we thought. Now, is it really slower than we thought it would be? I don't think so. I think it is as slow as we thought it would be. But how is it going? Is it going to be better than we'd expect? Worse? I guess that depends upon what we expect. Spirit, give us clarity. How about that? Let's see. Well, yeah. So some disappointment, and maybe we've already had one of those, right? Because there was a miscalculation and people assuming more people could be vaccinated, but really 2 doses are earmarked for 1 person. And then with the disappointment when we learned that Trump turned down 100 million doses of the Pfizer vaccine. Nah, we were given first shot at it, and no, we don't need that. So there have been some disappointments. However, we have the 2 cups full, 2 cups full. So in other words, the vaccine is a good vaccine, and we're blessed with that. You know, this can multiply. Okay, this is at the bottom of the deck. New era. We're turning a new page. Okay, what else with the vaccine rollout? Yes, it's burdensome. Yes, it's burdensome. Because, right, states have to do a lot of it on their own. So this also means that there will be a little bit of one thing at a time that needs to happen instead of a organized, federalized response. So there we go. We know that too. But 7 of Cups encourages us to consider the positives and not the negatives. You know, the unknowns are in the future, yes. But that card tends to come up when we are encouraged to think of the positives that are coming in and let those grow in energy. Again, still, on the bottom of the deck all the time, this one on the Wheel of Fortune, I do think that's underneath. That means it's like underneath energy during this time. And I do think things are going to be changing. The Tower brings the Wheel of Fortune. A patron today said, she put it the most succinctly, and she said that the Tower is necessary to turn the wheel. Absolutely. Yes. Here it is again. No matter how many times I shuffle, it shows up a lot. Anyways, let's look at, oh goodness, the vaccine rollout. So in other words, it's going. Yes, we've had some disappointments. Yes, it's going to be more depending upon what state you're living in. But it's going, and it's a good thing. All right. Let's see about, the stimulus. So when I read on the stimulus last, I thought that it was going to be before the election. They'd want to get it out before the election. But then they were talking about it. Oh, yes, we're going to get it out before the election, both parties. And then they didn't. But now they're going to get it out before this Georgia runoff election. So it is true. The election, they were mindful of the election and the effect on the election in getting this out. But it was just a different election, put off a month. They were hoping that they could get by without doing it, apparently. Awful. But Now that everybody's looking at the Georgia runoffs and what's at stake is which party dominates in the Senate, now they want to court the American people a little bit. So, small stimulus package, more of which is aimed at helping small businesses and regular Americans, although I'm sure large businesses will definitely get their cut. Yeah. But now let's look at that. What does that look like, Spirit? Yeah, it will be. There will be enough focused on those who are the working people, who are, so people who, unemployment, yes, people who are unemployed, people who maybe they are living paycheck to paycheck. Okay, well, that's a good thing. But then there's still disappointments in it. How long it took, and that it doesn't do more. It's a skinny, skinny bill. The skinny bill that was rejected by Democrats several months ago, it's just as skinny, even skinnier, and now it's accepted. So the Dems can't call it a win, but at least it got done at all. A lot of manipulation with this. Okay, so the purpose of this is indeed to make a good impression. We have the Knight of Cups. It is indeed to make a good impression. So, well, I hope it helps people it's meant to help. Yes, gosh. What about, let me look at 2021 and let's see a little bit about programs for those who are really in need, because all of us are worried whether we're the ones who are facing possible homelessness or, you know, food insecurity, or whether it's people we care about. I mean, it's going to be, everybody's kind of concerned, and they should be. All right, so let's see 2021 programs in 2021, Spirit. Okay, well, we do have too much of the corporate mentality with the Five of Swords, but, so, okay, we do have the two parties pulled forward with the Chariot, whether they want to be or not, you know, just pulled forward by the need. And we do have people speaking out, thank God. Information is more decentralized. The dissemination of information is more decentralized. Sure, it's allowed some conspiracy theories to get crazy, but it has, more importantly, I think, allowed information to grow that needs to grow, which is when people have heartbreaking stories and homelessness is on the rise. So because of that, they feel the Chariot. The two parties, the politicians in Washington are going to feel the pull of the Chariot. And they do want to keep voters happy. We learned about that, didn't we? I love that the voters know so much more about the importance of their vote, and so much more about protecting it, and so much more about using it, because therein lies our power. All right, and our hope. Look at on the bottom of the deck, the hope card, because we should be hopeful, and Spirit is telling us, please, please be hopeful. Okay. Well, I thank you all so very, very much. You take care. Have a wonderful holiday season, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.